So there we go. Goodbye and thank you, Lake Alabaster Hut. I have rarely been so happy to arrive to a dock hut before. Now we do have a bit of ground to cover. Gonna have to put in the miles today. It's very, very gently raining, but so long as it doesn't pick up, we should be good on that stream crossing. I like to do my filming early in the morning after a coffee, because it's when I'm the most likely to be cohesive, intelligible, comprehend, I don't know, whatever the word. But I'll tell you, I am definitely sore. I'm a bit tired this morning. I did sleep pretty well last night, but it was sort of that exhaustion sleep. You wake up every couple hours and then fall back again right away, no dreaming or anything. I have surprised so many animals on this trail. Obviously nobody's been through in a while. I saw some human footprints between McCarroll Island Hut and Lake Alabaster Hut, which is where I was yesterday. So it looks like somebody's been out there at some point, but it's not in great shape. So that washout yesterday, now obviously the sun was setting as I was getting to that junction, but I believe one of those areas had washed out the trail junction, meaning the sign that would have pointed you towards Lake McCarroll Hut. When I had figured it out, I'd probably gone another half an hour, and I don't know, at that point I was thinking I might as well just keep pushing ahead. I didn't feel like backtracking, and I'm happy with that decision ultimately, because today still is a big day. There's the washed out bridge, and there is the creek. All those logs must have come down from the mountains. You can see right poking through the sky there, little snow-capped peaks. But this must have been one heck of a storm. I think it happened in January of this year. But on the bright side, nice and dry, so no dramas going through. What do we have here? This might be one of the private lodges. You can charter a company to hike the Hollyford Trek. I think it's about $3,500 or $4,000 or something. Oh, there he is, Davy Gunn, run holder and track controller. Drowned in the Hollyford River, Christmas Day, 1955. That was the last Jamestown resident. There's nobody here, so let's get nosy. Yeah. Wood floors, wood tables. Gonna have heat. Oh, look at that. Screens. Looks like you got your own private room. That is not too bad. I wonder if this is some original cookware from back in the day. Look at that. Yeah, that looks like the 1920s for sure. It appears we've got ourselves a little dock up here. Oh yeah, it's more washout. Look at that. Yeah. Where would you land? There's no dock. If there was one, it's been washed away. But I suppose you just land right on the beach there. That'd be cool. I'd like to take a jet boat at some point. Despite living in New Zealand for a long time, I've never done one. Coming to our first bridge of the day, and it is a beauty. Flip this camera on. I see a couple of old footprints on this trail. That hut, Lake Alabaster Hut, was the most recently inhabited per the logbook anyway. Looks like somebody was there, a solo traveler, just about a week ago, so that's cool. The rest of them, there was one guy or a group that went through towards the end of June, and they both made their intentions in the logbook. And I know there are people who run this as a backcountry marathon. So I think the Hollyford track has a bunch of runners that show up and do this run, possibly in honor of Davy Gunn. That is very impressive. I'm always at awe of people who do those ultra marathons. It is fantastic. My father-in-law does a lot of that. But for me, yeah, 15 to 20 Ks in a day is plenty. That's not much of a gap. First time we're getting a glimpse of some real mountains up there, which also probably explains why it's so chilly. An absolute joy of a track to walk. It's super clean. You just get to enjoy your surroundings, which in a place like this is definitely a place that you want to enjoy. That is a beautiful hut, but I'm not gonna stop. I still got a bit of momentum, so let's see if I can just push through the last 2.5 hours to the trailhead. Here's some proof of how chilly it is. Some frost on the grass here. Go and poke our little noses in. Well, don't know that this would be winning any luxury awards. In fact, it doesn't look like it has an accommodation block. This might just be a place where they stop to grab lunch. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Huh. Yeah, so this isn't a hut you would stay at. Not a bad view though. All right, I've got about 1.5 kilometers to go into the car park, so I figured this is actually a good time to do a little trip recap. This is a very good track to do in winter because it doesn't have any passes, so you don't have to deal with snow. But if you've ever tried to book one of the great walks in the winter, in the summer, during the peak hiking season, some of the real popular tracks will book up completely about 6 months in advance. So the Department of Conservation will open up the booking window sometime in June, and everybody's trying to book the same weekends in December and January, and it just fills up, usually within the first 5 minutes. Almost every year the dock website crashes. I actually did the Milford track back in 2018, and this is exactly what I did. I set an alarm for when the booking window would open up, hopped on the dock website, and then my wife and I were there frantically refreshing the page to try to get the booking window that aligned with our vacation. So it was intense. And the likelihood that you're going to get your preferred weekend if you're not there in the first 5 minutes is pretty slim. The other thing is that if you go and do these hikes when they're absolutely booked to the max, one of the things you don't necessarily realize is there's like a pressure to get to the hut quickly, especially if you're hiking with your partner, because you can get separated. So if all the bunks get filled up, you know, one person can be on one side of the room and the other person on the other side. Is just not, I don't know, necessarily something you want to do. So if you had the alternative to have the entire place to yourself with as spectacular weather as New Zealand is capable of producing, I would certainly take that, right? And that has been an example I've just given over the last 3 days, that if you pick the right weather window, you can actually have a spectacular time with the whole place to yourself. Like I said, Hollyford doesn't deal with snow. If you're going on Milford, if you're going on Kepler, Rootburn, a lot of the other great walks, you will have snow, and so you have to make sure you take suitable precautions. New Zealand's two big dangers are exposure and avalanche. So if you know that, and if you know what to do with that, and you keep a real close eye on the weather, I mean, there's no reason why you couldn't do all the great walks in winter and just, you know, really enjoy yourself. So I'm about to cross this bridge now, and hopefully my car is still waiting for me. There it is, a little rental car. So I've rarely been more pleased to see a late model Toyota Corolla.